We get a lot of questions about ADHD and other learning disorders. Let me tell you, some people are worried that they're not going to get the school help that they feel they need in order to help their children with ADHD, ADD, dyslexia, all those different issues. And let me share with you my story. My third child has been very ADHD his whole life. And the funny thing is I didn't realize so was I. But in my era, they didn't look at those things. But watching my son and watching his difficulty in focusing on anything has shown me that I actually have some of the same problems. So we have discovered a few fixes of our own. Most children who struggle with attention generally just need to move. So that child who's now 13, he gets the stuff that he really needs to learn through audio in whether it's a download or a CD, and he has to be moving while he does it. So he'll build Legos while he learns it. He'll go on a walk while he listens. When he was little and he refused to read, I would post beginner words around the house, and he could jump up on furniture and hit those words that were posted around the house only if he could read it. So he would run around the house hitting words. So that was his motivation to read. One of the other things, he actually just walked by, but don't tell. One of the other things that we used to do for him to get him to want to read is if he could read one sentence to me, we would put a mattress on the stairs, and he would get to do one flip down the stairs or slide down the stairs on the mattress for every sentence he would read to me. So he would flip down the stairs and then come back, read a sentence, go back, flip down the stairs. You have to be creative with kids like that, but he's brilliant. That kid can learn anything and build anything and figure out anything as long as I allow him to move and listen to music in his ears as he does it. So there are so many options for kids with learning issues. We just have to find it. A classroom for this kid would have never worked. He probably would have been on all kinds of meds to get him to sit still, but he doesn't sit still. He never will. We've nicknamed him Tigger because he's got bounce and he never stops bouncing. So we figured out ways to get the education while he continues to bounce. It's okay. They can learn that way. I have since discovered I'm the same way. I couldn't figure out why I never learned anything. Now I do the same thing. I put earphones in and I go on a walk or I exercise so that I can learn something, and it's the only way to get it to stick. So while homeschooling your kids, you will learn a lot about yourself. Story number 2. I had a child who could not read. She struggled and everything was backwards, especially those B's and D's. So I found a book called The Dyslexic Advantage. I will put a link for that in here. It changed everything for us. I went from thinking that my child was unintelligent or unable to realizing that my child was brilliant and a genius. So I started reading the book. You really need it if you have a dyslexic child or you yourself have struggled with dyslexia. It will explain to you how the brain works for those who have dyslexia. And it shows that they're intensely creative. They just think differently. And here are some things you can do about it. I'm not going to go into it here. You need to read the book if this is an issue for you. I highly recommend it. That child went from mom, I'm stupid to holy cow, I can do anything, because I started reading her excerpts from that book. So don't panic over a learning disability. Homeschooling will actually allow you to get in on that and help customize better for that child, and they will learn so much better. Go into our group and ask the questions. There are a lot of learning disabilities. A lot of us are teaching children with learning disabilities, but we don't call them disabilities. We call them superpowers because it means they have some amazing strengths. So there are some superpower issues, and there are a lot of moms in there. Go in and ask those questions. We'll discuss them. We'll show you the different things we have. I have one mother who has been homeschooling a special needs child for 20 years, and she is in the group, and she can give you all kinds of great wisdom. So don't let special needs or ADHD or any of those things get in your way. There are so many things you can do for those children, and you can customize it for them. Don't be intimidated. If anything, those are the best kids that need the homeschooling.